My experience of God is a power that has completely changed my life, both in what I do in the world, but more importantly, how I live my life. The experience of meeting for worship, that sitting with others in an attentive waiting on God, has had repercussions in the rest of my life. I find that I want more silence. I find I want more solitude. I find I want more possibilities for listening. Because I know that only in listening can I access God. So I experience God both because I seek God in a purposeful way by going to meeting for worship, by reading spiritual texts, by stepping back from the hurly-burly to give myself space. And also unexpectedly. I mean, God has always come upon me unexpectedly, crept up on me, so to speak. Perhaps when I lose myself in an activity, if I'm playing the piano, for instance, the moment I become self-conscious, I make a mistake. So if I'm singing or writing or walking and being completely absorbed in the natural surroundings, I can have an awareness of God without seeking it. But the purposeful seeking is important to me, and I just wanted to read a little quote from someone called Abhishektananda, who was a Benedictine who went out to India and founded a Christian ashram, and he encompassed quite a lot of Hinduism in his Christianity, and he wrote, "God dwells only where man steps back to give him room." And that's very much my experience. And that wasn't how my life was before at all. I didn't allow myself that kind of space. So listening and letting go. Letting go has been a crucial part of my life. Letting go of the need to control what happens. Letting go of the need actually to make decisions. I try not to say that anymore, that I've decided. I say it has become clear, because I think that is a much more truthful expression of what happens. And trying to make myself a fit instrument for God's purpose. Trying to concentrate my attention. And it's led me into very strange ways. People are very mistaken when they think that what happens comes from a kind of outer motivation, of people telling you what to do, or because it's the right thing to do. What actually happens, in my experience, is that it's an inner disturbance. So it's a matter of listening to that inner voice. And when the inner voice is telling you that something is uncomfortable, you have to listen. And there's a very good story. William Penn, who was an aristocrat, the founder of Pennsylvania, one of the early Quakers, he came to George Fox, another early Quaker, and said, you know, as an aristocrat, I wear a sword, is that okay? And George Fox didn't say, we're a pacifist organisation, of course not. He said, wear it as long as you can. And that for me has become a really strong indicator of how to live my life. So I ate meat as long as I could, and then I gave it up. And to my astonishment, I found I wanted to give up an awful lot of clutter. It just got in the way. It's not because I think it is morally right to own less. It's because I actually didn't want to be bothered with it. I didn't want to have to insure it and dust it and be preoccupied with it. I wanted to concentrate on other things. So I actually sold my flat and gave my furniture to my children, and now have a great deal less than I used to have, and it's great. I still think I have too much. I would say all this is a process, all this is ongoing. So letting go is important. But also, I want to read you something else. From Jonathan Sacks, who's the chief rabbi, he says, God speaks where two persons turn their face to one another in love. God lives in the in-between that joins self to self through an act of covenantal kindness. And I experience God through other people. I experience God in those relationships, in the guidance that comes directly from God and through other people. So I've worked out recently that there are 3 L's: listen, let go, and love.